forget to subscribe.
In Sydney, there's Town Hall. I had to get off the street because it's just too loud over there. It's a little bit more quiet here. There's a some sort of a church, cathedral. I walk by it every day. Don't necessarily know what it is. But anyway, before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS novel dating advice for the modern man. So, should you take time off? Myself, I never really took time off until I hit that point where I had a hip replacement, and I lost all my money. I was on the verge of being homeless, totally lost everything, and I had all these medical bills coming in. I found myself working 7 days a week just to pay medical bills and keeping a roof over my head, and I was saving a lot of money, and my other hip started to hurt, and I became more in touch with my mortality at such an early age that as well as having the disability, and on top of that, knowing that I'm not sure if I'm going to live too much longer, and on top of that, while I was working 7 days a week, I saved so much money that I could actually do that. And I decided, look, I'm going to just game, technically. I'm just going to spend years out here just, approaching girls, dating girls, and running rampant and try to enjoy my life while I can. And there are certain situations where you can do that. There's certain situations where I wouldn't recommend it. Let's start with those first. You got yourself a career and you want to game more. Well, how about you focus on your career and save enough money, and then really start thinking, measuring how long until you retire. Do you have any illnesses? How long do you think you're going to live? These are questions that you need to ask yourself, and most of them you won't be able to answer. You've got to make a decision for yourself on how long have you got left, and what is the return on you quitting everything? Do you have enough finances to do so? Myself, I did. I had saved enough money, and I figured out a living arrangement that allowed me to just game all the time, every day. Now, if you have a career, I recommend for most of you guys, the majority of you guys, you stick with your career, and especially if you're new, there's not going to be a fast rate of improvement in a short period of time if you're doing the wrong things. If you're a newbie, there's a good chance that you're going to do a lot of the wrong things. Now, recently I met up with one of the guys that did an immersion with me a while ago, and I realized that he didn't really listen to hardly anything I was telling him, and he's literally doing almost everything wrong. Look, he's doing okay. He's getting some dates here and there, and he's got himself a regular in his local area, and things aren't too bad. I've hooked him up with a wing that did an immersion with me as well, and they're hanging out, and unfortunately they're hanging out and doing a lot of day game together, which is technically a waste of time. If they're doing night game together and they're gaming in their local areas, understanding that cold approach day game is a solo endeavor. But he's making all of these mistakes that I thought were just common sense that I drilled into him, but he's making all these bad mistakes, and he's gaming a lot. Now, if you took all your time off and you just do the wrong thing, then your results are going to suck. If you take the wrong ideology on, then your results are going to suck. I did notice that as well with a lot of guys during that period where I was gaming every single day, that was all I was doing, was every day I would message my wings, you out? That was literally the question. You out? Are you out? Where are you? Let's go. Every single morning. And then, you know, we get talking, and then every afternoon we'd message other guys and go, okay, which bars are open, which clubs are open, where are we going for night game? Now, I noticed a lot of the guys that were spending a lot of time out there gaming were doing everything wrong. And their egos took over because they were gaming so much, and they thought they were doing everything right. When they were doing everything wrong, the results sucked. And are you doing everything right? That's one question you need to ask yourself as well. That's another layer of complexity. So what I do is I recommend that guys that have a career, you're making money, you don't want to ruin your career, you don't want to lose your job, you don't want to reduce the amount of money that you're making. I recommend that you just do 3 approaches per day, and when you're only doing 3 a day, every single day, which you're going to discover isn't as easy as you thought, over time, you'll have less approaches to analyze over time. You did 3 yesterday. None of them hooked, as an example. None of them hooked the day after. You've got 6 approaches to analyze the next day afterwards. It's easier to analyze your approaches when you're doing it consistently and 3 a day over a long period of time than spending all day, every day out there doing the wrong thing all day, remembering nothing that you're doing wrong, and messing everything up technically. So for the majority of guys, I do recommend you just stick with your job and do 3 a day. This takes a long time to, it's like you plant the seed and you do 3 a day after doing an immersion, you know, and I teach you the right way to do it. And if you learn and you listen and you can actually take instructions, and you're a quick learner, 3 a day over a long period of time, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, it'll radically change everything. It really will. I recently checked up on one of my clients from 2 years ago. He went from a virgin in university. He turned up to coaching every day wearing the exact same clothes. He also on some days brought a backpack. And you know, so the first couple of days, the first week, we really just focused on game, focusing on his cold approach skills, what he's saying, his text game, etc. Within 4 days, he lost his virginity. And I was going through a period where this was 2 years ago, when I wasn't really getting many clients coming to me. I'm getting a lot more now. But I had a bit more time to answer his questions, and we would meet up and we'd go to the gym together, we'd hang out a little bit more together. And within a month of starting the initial coaching with me, he had a rotation of 4 girls. And at that point, the winner effect kicked in. So he got a little bit of success, then he got a little bit more success, little bit of success, like tiny little thing. Like got a few numbers, then he got a few dates. Within 4 days, he got laid. That gave him a testosterone boost. It gave him a dopamine hit. It gave him the belief that this could happen, and it slowly built and built and built on that, and it built over time. Built to the point where he started getting a lot of success. And now I checked up on him, and he's now left Australia. So Australia is a relatively hard place to game, and so he took those skills to the United States, and he's now got you have a look at his Instagram, it's just flooded with really hot girls. He's hanging out with models, he's partying, he's increased his fashion sense, and all of those other things. These are all the small 1%ers that come after you learn proper game. So you learn game, you don't worry about the fashion so much, you don't worry about the vanity metrics, you don't worry about wearing a suit and looking all pretty. You focus on the raw, fundamental game aspect of things. Then you add the other 1%ers. You get a nice haircut, you start wearing flashy clothing, you know. Then you start working on your social media, and it all builds on that. They're all connected, and they all build up over time. And this is why if you're working in a proper career, you've got a proper job, I recommend that you just do 3 a day. You analyze it properly, get a little bit of success, and you get a little testosterone boost from winning. You get a little bit more of a dopamine hit. Next thing you know, over time, it builds on that. And next thing you know, 2 years later, you won't recognize yourself. But again, if you're doing the wrong thing, the results aren't going to come. They're not going to come at all. You're just going to waste a lot of your time doing the wrong thing. And that's why I recommend that you sign up and do some coaching. So anyway, top link in the description. Go to my website, onemansLifeMission.com, and sign up to some coaching. So anyway, that's today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.